Rusty here is no longer human. Nothing but black coffee under a thin layer of skin.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
That guy sounds like me.
So this diner
Except
looks
underneath
a lot
the
like...
coffee is murder.
This diner looks a lot like the Twin Peaks diner, and
Coconut.
oh, there's something else in here that reminds me of Twin Peaks.
I'd do it myself.
Okay, try a second.
Both of my legs.
Does it really surprise you that it's going for Twin Peaks, though? I mean, it is in a small town in the Pacific Northwest.
I like it. Honestly, I like it because I've seen every episode of Twin Peaks, so to see kind of a throwback to it is heartwarming. But also further proof that this might be kind of a horror kind of thing.
This is it.
What's funny about that is I never watched a single episode of Twin Peaks, but I got the Twin Peaks vibe from this anyway, just from what I had absorbed, you know, from the people who have watched the show. And
you know what vibe I got? You know what vibe I got from
here? There's a lot of recurring characters in this game that I rather like. Like, everyone in this diner right now is someone you'll meet later on and will help you, or maybe not, you know, further down the game's storyline. But it's interesting in the way that they introduce a lot of these characters, because they don't draw a whole lot of attention to them. But then if you've been paying attention, you can totally just see them again and go, oh, it's those guys.
The waitress was
that woman back there, the one holding the lantern, she is a throwback to the log lady in Twin Peaks, who would kind of walk around the diner with this log, and she would tell you really scary, fucked up things. Well, tell the agent. I really
Wait, that's really disappointing, because she's like kind of recurs in the game, and finding out she's a reference to Twin Peaks to like just some other media is disappointing. It's kind of like how it keeps bringing up Stephen King. I really feel like this game didn't have the confidence to stand on its own.
It's like humor these days, where everything's a reference.
I mean, if you're gonna set something in the Pacific Northwest, you pretty much have to reference Twin Peaks at some point.
Well, you mentioned Twin Peaks. You don't cop a character from Twin Peaks.
I think it's more that the entire game is a love letter to suspense, from Stephen King to Twin Peaks, from Twilight Zone to Lovecraft.
Yeah, that's
true.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a clear-cut Lovecraft reference later.
Scary when you're not in a cutscene.
Yeah, the cutscene.
She looks like my grandma.
In the cutscene, she looks like she's about to start asking you to bring candelabras to the labyrinth of Amala.
Why didn't
out of the
leave
cutscene? She
in
just
the
looks like a lady.
She should have just left in the cutscene.
That cutscene.
Yeah, that is
cool.
interesting.
Awkward.
It's been ruined.
Like, if you came out and you'd be like, where was that lady I was just talking to? And everybody would be like, what lady? What? And then you'd be like, oh, that's weird. But instead they have her still standing there. Right, exactly. That is an odd choice. Why was she standing there?
Oh, thank God the wife is here.
Bye, Mr. Wade.
Wifey.
Take your cardboard cutout with you.
Yeah.
Bring it home.
Hide behind it.
Directions.
Smash it. Put it in the car instead of you, and then run away.
Pay one of the old dudes. Pay one of the old dudes to carry around the cardboard cutout and do an impression of you.
Your keys.
So this game has been described as sort of having the mind of a psychological thriller and the body of an action shooter, but really when you're playing the game it feels more like it's schizophrenic and going back and forth between a really fun adventure game and a really monotonous shooting game.
Yeah.
Vacation, Alice.
I
Combat
can
in
totally
this
get
game
behind that.
doesn't get much more varied than what you saw in the tutorial, and there's a lot of it. Which is why, of course, they released a combat-focused DLC called Alan Wake's American Nightmare, available in online stores now.
Yeah, that's a great love letter to your own work when you make an adaptation of that is completely different.
So this game has a lot of really fucking nice scenery in it.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I love anytime you do a callback to the 70s. I love it because, of course, that really touches a nerve with me because there's a lot of crap.
He was a wee little lad.
The thing is, this crap made in the 60s. Okay, plastics just kind of became popular with consumers in the 50s and 60s, and so they made every damn thing out of it. But the thing about that stuff was it didn't last very long. So, like, you can walk into an antique store today and you can find an 80-year-old wooden chair. A 100-year-old end table, but you are not going to find a 50-year-old plastic chair. Like, a lot of this stuff is just gone. And so when he comes in here and sees this old furniture, it's stuff that I have not seen since I was, like you said, a wee lad. And so it touches a nerve that it wouldn't if that chair was if that kind of stuff was around today.
Bird leg cabin. Somebody has
kind of tape.
I bet that's an anagram of something spooky.
That's actually really interesting, Seamus, knowing what happens later in the story and what the meaning of the cabin is. I don't know how far you got or what the end of the third act or first act has, but that's actually really, yeah, that's relevant.
Yeah, it is.
It's dark in there. We need lights.
Oh, bird leg. It's an anagram for leg bird. Oh my goodness, Rutscore.
Oh, of course.
No, Seamus. God, no. I was talking about bed girl.
Oh wait, shit, I missed something. Ah.
I don't want to know.
So his wife has a phobia.
A shoebox filled with books.
I thought this was a neat hook.
A
A fear of
It's a
dark
hook that-
places.
Of the Darkness, the band.
It feels like an allegory that never really went anywhere, and I'm not sure why it's there.
Aside from to reinforce the whole
Gameplay?
light dark mechanic.
Yeah.
Well, her fear never really impacts the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like one sequence
July
later in a
1970.
flashback that's relevant.
That calendar right there, I was like, oh, I remember when they used to make calendars that look like that. Like, they don't
See,
make
John?
calendar. Like,
See what
somebody
Josh
went
does?
and reproduced the style and the font faces used in that time period.
This is a relevant piece of environmental storytelling too, which we won't be able to get to until much later.
For a moment, the oppressive feel of the nightmare I had
Diving
seen in the ferry
suit.
returned.
Who here went straight to turn on the lights, and who here ran around the house in the darkness?
I ran around the house in the dark.
I needed to get the power running in the
Yeah.
There had to be a
Well, okay then.
Chris?
It's not really clear that you're supposed to go adjacent to the house when she hands you a
Right.
flashlight and points to the house.
Yeah. Chris, what did you do? Did you run around the house?
Yep. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional because they have all those things of the story bits that you would miss otherwise.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
really
getting
goofy.
back to
Why can't you just go through the house to get to the power?
Maybe it would be that.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I felt like that's what I should be doing. Like, why? Where's the
Yeah,
back door?
you would
Why
think,
can't
oh,
I
throw
go-
the breaker or something, but no, old generator.
Was that a reference?
It's so
to,
weird,
you know
like,
what, back
could
there?
you please turn the lights on, honey? Sure thing. Takes a flashlight, goes into the house, explores around the darkness, makes a pillow for it. Honey?
For the record,
Oh,
that-
right. Leaves and turns on the lights.
This is also a tutorial, and this fits so much better into the story and the universe than anything we saw with the Godlight.
It's too bad it's a
Although it
mechanic
is
the game
kind of
really
a
didn't
tutorial
need.
for quick time event.
Yeah, the game really did not need those, like,
It
button
was a
click
beautiful
events.
place.
Well, the other reason
No,
I told myself I could rest here.
Go ahead, Jim.
Sleep here.
No, I was going to
Seamus
go
goes
to
first.
another topic. So you go, Chris.
Okay, well, the Chris then.
I was just going to say that
I thought we could be happy.
she's about to disappear. I mean, we know that that's going to happen. And I was just going to compare it to Human Revolution, where we really, instead of that 20-minute combat training tutorial, really probably should have spent more time with her, because she suffers the same thing that Rachel did in Deus Ex, where once she's gone, we don't care so much.
You
Yes.
mean Megan?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, Megan. I don't know where Rachel came from.
Case in point.
This scene was really strong, I think. This whole thing when you arrive to this cabin, explore the house, talk to your wife, and if they had spent more time on this and less time with the light ball telling you how to dodge, the beginning of this game would have been much, much stronger.
Alice?
Because I thought this was a really great scene, told a little story, and I almost wonder if game designers are just afraid to let players go for too long without some fighting. Oh, we don't want them to go for 10 whole minutes without shooting.
I think it's
something.
more
There
than that.
is no reason to have the combat tutorial before the story exposition.
Combat, yes.
I think it's the tutorial part that game developers are afraid of. Like, they're afraid that people aren't going to understand how to play their game, so they have to have a little voice tell them how to do it every 5 seconds.
Where'd
That's
that
something
come
we've
from?
seen in all modern games lately.
Alice? What is
Yeah,
this?
the only game in spoiler warning history that like didn't spend way too long on its tutorial that I could think of was like, you know, New Vegas and Fallout 3. Those got it well.
Because you
yeah,
can
Fallout
walk
3's
away
tutorial's
from the
way too long.
tutorial. You can say
Yeah, you
the
could
shit.
walk out the door and give Doc Mitchell the finger over your shoulder and never talk to him again, and you're good.
Yeah,
And just walk out of
all
town.
the other games, like the tutorials last a decent amount into it. I'm sure there's an exception. I'm not thinking about it too much.
Damn it, Alice. God damn it.
Goodbye,
Okay.
You wouldn't
wifey.
follow me in the dark.
So
I needed some time alone to think things through.
Alan kind
wife
of
did
blew
something
a
nice
little
for
bit
me.
too much there.
So I yelled
yeah.
at her and left her in the creepy house on the creepy lake.
You should
I don't
turn the
know.
lights
I
off
thought
on
maybe
her.
you could start doing your job again and supporting us with money. And I know that it's a thing you used to love to do, so I thought maybe I could maybe set something up for you. So if you wanted to try that here, you could. God damn it, Alice!
The house turns dark, and he takes the flashlight and doesn't even go to try and. Oh, she has a light. Well, not anymore.
All
No,
the
she's
lights
dead.
were out.
Alice, I'm coming.
Ah!
I'm coming.
The crows are attacking.
What the hell?
What'd I do to piss you guys off?
Crow, lo, 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 lo.
I didn't know that crows could hurt you. I just kept running.
This is a nice porch, you guys. I like
So-
this porch. This is a pretty cool porch.
It
Yeah,
is.
like wind
Yeah, I love
chimes.
everything about this.
There's a comment I want to make on some of the wood grain in the bottom right corner.
Oh,
of this
look at
porch.
that wind
Face the
chime, you
house.
guys!
I know!
That's a
Fred, you'll be able to
physics
hit the wind chime with
object.
your head.
I can't even tell if you guys are trolling, but that thing's an actual physics object, and that's another
Seamus, way to
artifact that
bring
you just
it.
don't see the.
Yeah, you ruined it.
What?
You really did ruin it there.
Your
You might as well go help your
sincerity ruined
wife, Josh.
Seriously, I love this thing, and even if you guys are making fun of me, I don't care. Even that wind chime being a physics object, it just delights me.
No, Seamus, I think
Anyway.
it's great that you're so old and this cabin reminds me of your prospector youth. Makes me happy for you.
Alice?
So this was okay. This was pretty cool. How like you just lose a week. Oh, spoilers.
But then what was the
Nice,
dream?
ruined
Rathgarn.
everything.
Waking up in the
It's
crashed
getting
car
kind of
felt
old.
like I had woken from one nightmare. And
No, but
entered
yeah,
another.
this
Man, I jumped off into a
I couldn't
lake and
remember
ended
how
up
I
in a
got
car
there.
off a
All I
cliff.
knew was that something terrible.
And this
had
is a
happened to
different
Alice.
car than the one at the beginning of the game.
No, it's the
Because
same
that was an
car,
old
isn't it? Oh, maybe it isn't.
No, the other one was an old 70s car, and this is a modern one.
In his dream, it was an old 70s car. On the boat, riding to the town. It was that car.
Yeah, this is his minivan.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
this is
meant.
the
Neil
minivan.
Hartman, seeing the book.
Yeah, at the very
Fight
at the
with
dream at the
Alice.
beginning, it was a
I didn't like
70s
it.
car.
And I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover.
So when did he
So-
have the dream? I mean, that's part of the problem I have with that opening setup. I mean, was he in the car?
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
the car with his wife.
And
Yeah.
she's like,
Hopefully
don't
not
worry,
driving.
Biddy. It's just a
The
dream.
gas station was my
Whoa.
best bet. They'd have a phone I could use.
I hate the camera in
Gasoline.
this
Long hike to the
game.
forest to
Like
get
the.
It does kind
Yeah.
of fly around a bit
I
too
hate
much.
it so much.
Especially
It's
when
too
you're
close to
wandering
his
through the
back,
forest.
too.
Yeah, like look at this. It's like I'm down on the ground and really close to your back, and I can't see anything. That really
Did you
bothered
have
me.
this-
Okay.
No, my minivan! You'll pay for this. Now all I have.
Actually, I
is my
think the insurance
65
company will
Mustang
pay for that.
convertible.
No, Seamus, don't ruin this. Don't ruin the pure brilliance and beauty of this. A quest for one man to get revenge on the destruction of his automobile.
This is what the game's about. This is
How
what the
will I
game's
pick
about
up
now.
chicks without my minivan?
Which is
You
important now that my
Yes,
wife
why
is dead.
not? Come find out.
Yes, I am a studly, suave, famous published author. Let me pick up chicks with my minivan.
Ah, Jesus! Why did the aliens have
with
to
my
land?
wife's minivan.
Hot moms, Rutsgarden. Hot moms.
You know, the
That's all
The
I
next
have to
generation
say.
has too much bloom.
Hello? Someone there?
It does.
So, we were just talking about the camera. And the camera really does not serve the game much. Here, let me ask you guys a question. Well, tell you what, I'm going to save this question because I want to talk about the manuscript page. I didn't like the manuscript pages.
I thought it was.
Why not? You don't like any collectibles. You don't like any collectibles, Red Scarn. Let's talk about this. You don't like the Riddler trophies. You don't like collecting anything in video games.
Okay.
In fact, this is probably the best collectible I've ever seen in a. In a video
it's
game.
A good idea.
It's so relevant.
It's a good idea.
What's going on?
It's a good idea. I just didn't actually like. I didn't like the actual pages.
Let's read this.
Yes, I thought the same thing. Like, I read them, and I was like, oh, these aren't very gripping. Maybe, and I thought maybe it's just because they're so short. I don't want to disparage the writing in this game. It might just be because they needed to fit, you know, they needed to fit it on a TV screen, basically, so you couldn't have a lot of page.
Yeah. Evidently, all the pages I picked up while I was playing through this earlier are still in my inventory. That kind of sucks. Fortunately, I only played through the first portion of the game on the PC just to make sure that it worked.
Actually, the man turned to face me. The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. That's actually kind of thudding. I will go ahead and say that it was hard to make him out in the darkness and the forest that surrounded us. But the accent is this a commentary on how Alan Wake has lost his mojo? Because actually, this is some pretty thudding stuff.
It was from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Some of the narration repeats words too. You know, like how you're not really supposed to repeat the same word a couple times in between two sentences. There's a couple narrations where they do that, and it's like, what? It's just not that great of writing, and it makes it worse because this is about a writer. It's not smart to do that if you're not actually a good writer.
And this is a petty gripe, but I also didn't like how he narrated them aloud. I feel like I already get enough of this asshole talking at me. I don't need him to read something for me. Do I just do that patronizing about non-published authors?
Well, the thing about his voice is it's very soothing. Like, every time I start to get a little nervous, he's like, oh, it was a scary fence. So I went to my happy place. And,
welcome to K-Rock, smooth jazz, late night.
Fucking physics objects, you guys.
Welcome to Alan in the Morning, helping to wake you up.
To be fair, they are Finnish.
Wow, that is terrible, Red Scar.
They're Finnish? The people who made this game are Finnish?
Remedy is Finnish?
Yes, they're a Finnish company.
Then why did they make this game about an English writer? Like, if you can't write, don't make the game... Oh yeah, my bad. About a writer.
I need help.
Okay. But yes, I think it was a good idea. I just don't think it was well executed. I didn't really feel like I wanted to read them.
So this is actually the first manuscript page we found right here.
Okay, this is Stucky. I didn't realize it was him from the gas station earlier. Or no, the diner earlier.
Yeah.
Until I watched the stream again.
Okay, anyway.
Go ahead.
Actually, Chris, why don't you go into this? This is going to be a long point. I'm going to be talking about this for a while. So, Chris, why don't you get out of your system fast?
I was just trying to figure out, okay, we're gonna do this. Never mind.
The book I couldn't remember was either terrible.
See, it puts them in a certain order that works for when they're being, like, sometimes you find stuff that you already did, other times you find stuff that hasn't happened. But because it's keeping all the ones that I already got, I can't remember what order they were in.
Oh, so we're not getting the intended order here.
Yeah, we'll get it after this, after this sequence is over, because I didn't play any farther than that on the PC.
you.